everybody, and welcome to week 2 of my Hitting the Mark series. This week we are going to be talking about anger. Now, you're probably wondering, anger? What? Last week it was about lust and pornography and that kind of stuff, and I want to tell you that it's not just that can make someone miss their mark, or that's not the only thing to conquer which will help you to hit your mark. Missing the mark, as I said in my first video, is anything that you can do that constitutes as sinful. And having a very nasty temper and being unwilling to control it can be sinful, and I say that from my own experience. I have a very, very nasty temper, as many people I know can attest to. No names given. So, anyway, I want to start off and say that being really angry in of itself isn't always a bad thing. In fact, there are many things that actually do kind of require you to be angry at, such as if you notice something happening that's not right. Say somebody's being mistreated, or someone is being rude to someone, or something happened that to someone, or something that wasn't okay. Whether or not you could do something about it, that's a whole different thing. But anyway, where it gets to be sinful is when you don't take any steps to control your temper, and especially with your spouse or your friends or your parents or your children, what have you. Now, for my part, like I said, I have a pretty nasty temper. It's been that way as long as I can remember. I would and still do get angry at a whole bunch of things, a lot of things that sometimes don't even require me to get so angry at it, yet I do. And part of that's just me. Part of that is just the fact that I don't like, a lot of times I just don't like when things don't go a certain way, and that makes me mad. And that's a whole different issue in of itself as well. And I won't get into that here. How else can anger be a way of missing your mark? That can be when you let it escalate into rage. Rage, put simply, as I would define it, is it's very extreme displeasure, very extreme anger at a situation or a person or something to the point that it could be harmful, verbally, physically, emotionally, mentally. And I myself have, throughout the years, displayed some I've displayed rage very blatantly, and every single time it happens, I regret it. And anyone out there who's watching this, who struggles with this as well, knows what I'm talking about. And you can be the most placid, easygoing person on the planet, and in a split second something can happen, and it's like something takes over you, and you're the most angry, mean person on the planet. And again, yeah, just like that, snap your fingers, it's totally different. And that is, for lack of better terms, it's not okay. That may sound hypocritical coming from someone like me, but that doesn't change it. Now, I also want to come out and say that there are ways that you can get a better handle on your anger and on controlling your temper. And it's going to be difficult, just like it's difficult finding ways to combat a porn addiction or anything related. Excuse me. And then, for instance, sometimes in the heat of a moment or in the heat of an argument, you really can't do anything to hold back your feelings. And well, be that as it may, if you take sometimes just a second or just a split second, you can make yourself lessen your impact on a person who's on the receiving end of your feelings. And doing that will help minimize the collateral damage. It won't completely prevent it, but it will make it a little bit better. It'll make it a little bit better, but it won't completely get rid of it. That will take some work afterwards. I really hope that this can be somewhat of an encouragement to those watching who have an issue with anger, and especially people like me who can have a very, very short fuse. Just about anyone can set them off, because it sucks. There's no other way to describe it. It sucks knowing that you can completely lose it in the blink of an eye over something that doesn't even warrant it. And yet, in the moment, you feel like there's no other way that you can express your feelings about a situation or a person. At the same time, it doesn't mean it's okay. And sometimes there will be consequences that you have to deal with, whether it's dealing with a person's hurt feelings or having to fix something that you broke, and like in the middle of a very heated argument. And there are even cases, luckily I've never been in one, where you can get so angry and so full of rage that you actually become destructive. And not just destructive with your hands, but with your mouth, with your tongue. Words can hurt. You know, the old adage, sticks and stones will break my bones, words will never hurt me. In my honest opinion, that is a complete myth. Some people it might be true, but in my experience, that has never been the case. And that's never been the case with those around me who have experienced my temper firsthand. They know they would probably rather get a sprained ankle or a broken finger or a bruised rib than deal with someone who can say something very hurtful with far greater lasting effects. After all that, let me again reiterate that anger can sometimes be a good thing, sometimes even necessary, but you gotta make sure that you don't let it get out of hand, because then it becomes destructive. It can become, and not just destructive, but destructive with lasting consequences to yourself and to people around you. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for my video next week. Content to be determined.